Our next guest is a speaker, educator, consultant, and friend. She is fueled by a passion for connection, is on a mission to empower individuals and communities through innovation and redefining possibilities. Wow. If everyone could please welcome our next speaker, Laura Liz Carlo Wilcott.
Thank you so much, Kenan. Thank you to all of you for coming today and for allowing me to be here to talk with you. I'd like to start off with a question. Have you ever asked for help? Have you ever helped someone else? You've helped someone, haven't you?
Yes.
What did that feel like when you asked for help? Were you like, wow, thank you for asking me, thank you for trusting me to help you? Were you perhaps thinking, that felt good, and I actually got a blessing from helping someone else? What did that feel like? Can you think back to a time that you helped someone? But what did it feel like when you asked for help? Some of you said, ooh, I asked, and I'll ask again. Do you ask for help? Do you struggle to ask for help? Is it a bit awkward? Yeah?
Yeah.
Currently in my life, I am working on asking for help. It's a journey that I'm on at the moment, and I see the importance of it. And it's something that I'd like to talk to you about today, is the idea of asking for help. And the core of that is to have purposeful people in your life that will help you build your village. Asking for help requires purposeful people that help you build your village. Have you heard of Simon Sinek? He's got great works. Lots of things to talk about with leadership and understanding your why. The other thing, if you just Google, if you say, Simon Sinek asked for help, and Simon Sinek, The Power of 8 Minutes, there's a story that he tells in regards to asking for help. And he said a couple of things. Number one is, when you have a friend who asks for help, it requires trust. And when you have trust, you need vulnerability to be able to take yourself to a point where you can ask for help. And it is a reflection on your vulnerability, is a reflection on who you are to ask someone. Some of you might be really great friends. How many of you think I'm a great friend? Yeah. I'm a trusted friend. But is it the same as being trusting? I consider myself a trusted friend. People come to me and ask me for help all the time. My job is to help people in the community and in my environment. But am I a trusting friend? So in this, Simon Sinek talks about becoming vulnerable enough to ask for help. And that requires trust. It hit me. In a way, like almost like a conviction, like, ooh, I'm not very trusting, am I? Because I don't really ask for help. Then, in his other video, it talks about the power of 8 minutes, and how he was almost insulted and hurt by a friend who needed help and took a long time to ask for it, and by the time asked for help. And this is my version of the story, so I encourage you to go and look for it. But in that process, said, I had no idea you were suffering. Why didn't you ask me? It was almost like that friend was hurt. He was hurt by that friend because they didn't ask for help. And she said, well, I did reach out. And he goes, did you? Oh, you do want to come over? It wasn't, I need help. It was, hey, do you have time this afternoon? Do you want to hang out? So that inquiry for help was different in the way that it might have, it wasn't as specific. It looked a bit different, yeah? And through talking and some research that Simon talks about in this video, it talks about how it can take only 8 minutes to really make an impact and help someone. And so now this friend, so that they don't have a miscommunication anymore, he and she say, do you have 8 minutes? Because everyone can step out of a meeting for about 8 minutes to help someone if you know that in 8 minutes you can make a difference. I learned a lot about trust. I learned a lot about being clear when I'm asking someone and being direct. And when it's uncomfortable, perhaps having a bit of a code with someone in regards to asking for help. So when I saw this video, which was just a couple of weeks ago, I thought, wow, this is like blowing my mind. I need to ask for help, I need to be more trusting, I need to have these codes. And when I was doing some research on asking for help and all of this, then I came across some work by Stanford. They have a program called SPARK, which is Stanford Spark with a Q. And in this, there was an article written by Maria DeWitty who talks about this research as to people love to help. People love asking, like getting asked for help because of the feeling that they have, and people are more willing to help than you would give them credit for. How often, do you turn down someone who asks you for help? If it's something that you're not capable of, if it's something that you don't have time for, perhaps, but you generally, most people would want to help others, right? So it's very interesting that when we look at ourselves asking for help, it's like, oh, maybe nobody's going to want to help me, or I don't want to burden someone, or be inconvenient to someone. It's a different story when we're the one, when we're on the receiving end versus when we're on the asking end. And then the other thing that I was looking into was a book that someone gave me a long time ago, and I only just picked up, which is by Brene Brown, which talks about the gifts of imperfection. And I kept thinking about the journey that she takes through. Brene Brown is a researcher. She talks a lot about shame, a lot about fitting in and belonging. And when I read that chapter, I was saying, oh, do I just try to fit in to what other people want, or do I actually belong? And when I have people that I belong to, those purposeful people who can help me build my village, is it then that I can start asking more for help? Because I maybe feel a bit safer. So it was through all of this also, and through the title of that book, that I thought, ooh, imperfect, imperfect, I am perfect, I am perfect. So right now in my situation, things are not going necessarily well, but I'm perfectly where I am at this moment. And I'm perfectly who I am in the imperfections that I'm currently going through. And it is okay for me to ask for help, because it's blessing other people and also blessing myself. And that's the journey that I'm currently working on. And it's something that, I don't know if you are one of those people who identify patterns and you were like, wow, I'm learning this lesson again, because I didn't learn it before. And I'm going to take you back to 2021. I was in San Antonio, Texas, which is where my mother lives. It was a cool, crisp day, because it's getting to winter. We were in December. It was like maybe 4 or 5 days before Christmas. And I hadn't seen my family for 3 years because of COVID and lockdown and living on the other side of the planet, literally. And in this time, there were these people who were at our version of Bunnings, Home Depot, and they were just ringing the Santa bell asking for money. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but during Christmas time, a lot of people will see the Santas and you can donate to different nonprofits. My mother was really unwell, and we needed to either sell her house or find another way to get her some money in order to get some of the finances in the house sorted. And I knew that I needed help, but I didn't know who to ask for help to. And I remember I gave a couple of dollars to this nonprofit organization, and they gave me a flyer, and I got back to my car, and I read it, and I was like, oh, and it just hit me like a force. Some people would call it the Spirit, the Holy Spirit, whatever you believe, and it just hit me, go and ask them for help. I would like to tell you that what I needed was a lot of strong bodies. I needed to redo my mom's house, I needed to move furniture, I needed to redo the lawn. It was a lot of work, things that would take me months to do. I went over there after giving them money, and I said hello, and they were like, oh, do you want your money back? They thought I read the flyer and was like, oh, I don't want to support that. And I said, no, I just want some help. Would you be willing to help? Can I tell you, that was a Friday, Christmas was over the weekend. Tuesday, he said, come on Tuesday and talk to us. On Thursday, there were 20 men there at my mom's house. They continued to help 3 to 4, sometimes 5 days a week. And in the time period, I kept asking for help, and people came out of the woodworks. Old connections, old friends from my previous work. We had a news story, we had a GoFundMe account. And people that I hadn't seen in decades came out and said, hey, we love you, we remember you, we support you, here's some money, here's our time. And it was just an amazing thing. The initial stepping out, the downpour of blessings that happened when I just humbled myself enough to ask for help. So currently in this situation, as I said, it's something that I'm still going through, and I've realized that in order to do what I need is to ask for help. Help. Help empowers life's purpose. Help. Help empowers life's purpose. And when we surround ourselves with these purposeful people and we trust them with what we need help with, they get their life's purpose and we get our life's purpose. So I encourage you to ask for help. And I thank you so much for allowing me to then say to you, I need help. And I appreciate you journeying with me and allowing me to be imperfectly me and to be part of my purposeful people, helping me build a village. Thank you.